welcome to another episode of the Digital Learning Lab. Today we will be talking about infographics. So I am Stephen Stone. I am your EdTech training coordinator for Cypher. Before we begin this session, we want to talk about one little housekeeping deal that we need to bring to your attention. Chat is available for you as students. You can chat in your questions or chat in your you can do some emojis, or you can say thumbs up, you can say way to go, wait, that was awesome. We would ask that you would limit your personal conversations for a later time, but during this time we would ask that you would just use your good digital citizenship skills while using the chat. Now, since we have that out of the way, we want to bring you three terrific, wonderful, amazing, awesome presenters in Shannon, Jamae, and Danielle. Take it away, ladies. It's all yours.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. We are so excited to see 75 people already in watching us. Thank you for saying hi in the chat. Love seeing you in there and the excitement that you have. Another thing I want to share very quickly before we start is that we absolutely love seeing the projects that you're submitting. These projects, they look awesome. So thank you so much for turning those in, and we hope that that continues today. So today we're going to be talking about infographics. And I saw in the chat, a lot of people were like, what are infographics? I don't even know what they are. So that's exactly what we're going to show you today. And we're super excited because the product that we're going to create is something that I think you're really going to enjoy. So you have with you, as Mr. Stone said, your elementary Cypher EdTech team for the Digital Learning Lab. Haynes, and I have with me Miss Johnson.
Good morning, guys.
And Miss Gilpatrick.
Hello, hello.
And we hope that we don't fall off of our computer today and lose connection, but we're keeping our fingers crossed that that won't happen. So let's go get started.
All right, so we wanted to start off by just giving you a few tips for the Digital Learning Lab. And Mr. Stone did touch on a few of these, especially about the interacting with chat. But I wanted to show you, or we wanted to show you, how you can pause, rewind, and rewatch if there's something that we say that you didn't catch or you want to see it again. Also, how to interact with chat appropriately. How to set up your computer to be side by side so that you can be working on something while we are showing you, and you can pause and then try it and then go back and forth. And then also our question form that we've created. So you are not able to put your questions in the chat, we have a question form that you can click on and submit questions there. So I'm going to exit out of this for just a moment to show you those things. So as you can see here, we are in the YouTube live feed, and like I mentioned, pausing, rewind, and rewatch is one of those options. So you can simply pause, slide the bar down a little bit, and press play and watch something again. Sometimes that people mention that there's a lag, that will help with that as well. So if it seems like we're a little bit behind, or there's a lag, or the internet connection isn't very strong, then you can pause and let it play for a little bit, let it wait for a little bit, and then press play and it'll catch up. So that's one tip. The second one is interacting with chat. Over in our chat here, we've got a lot of people joining us. Currently, we've got 94, and several of you are saying hello in the chat. So hello to you and good morning, and we're so happy that please remember that this chat is monitored. It is also, we have a lot of teachers that join us and other representatives from Cypher. So always make sure that you're representing yourself and your family and your school in the best way possible. So practicing those digital citizenship skills and staying on topic and positive in the chat. And then our, in case you aren't in the chat, which is totally fine, we also have a question form down here. So you can simply click this and it will bring you to a form where you can submit your name, and then your question. And so we'll be monitoring that as well throughout the presentation to make sure that we address any questions that you have. Again, if we're going too fast, remember that you can always pause, rewind, and rewatch. And then as we're presenting, you can set up a side-by-side. So simply open another tab, and then you can have this tab, you click and drag it out, make it a little bit smaller, and then take your us presenting as well, make that a little bit smaller, and then you'll have these two tabs next to each other, and you can resize them a little bit so that you can see what we're teaching, and then you can also try on your own in that second tab. So those are just a few tips to help you while you're doing our online learning with our Digital Learning Lab today. We're so happy again that you are is going to answer that question that you have about what are infographics.
Yes, thank you for showing us those tips, but I have one tip for you for next time, Ms. Gilpatrick.
Yes.
Next time, do you think you can catch me at a different angle and view? Because I was like the whole time in the picture as you were explaining. So I was like, why does my video look like that? And then I realized, oh, it was just a freeze frame. I thought I was broken.
I'm sorry. That's funny.
It's all good. So anyway, go ahead, Ms. Johnson. Tell us all about infographics.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you guys for being here again. And we love the fact that some of you were asking what an infographic is. So actually an infographic is a visual image such as a chart or a diagram to represent information or data. So it's simplified. So let's talk about some different types of infographics. So for example, there's a statistical infographic. So you're taking something and you're summarizing it and you're putting the big ideas in there with the different fonts, maybe adding some graphics and so forth, but it gives you a quick view of something, some information that you can look at a glance. Okay. The next one is a process one. I really like this one. So I really like it because it says bacon in it and I love bacon.
She does love bacon.
I do. So when you think about a process, it's things that you do in order. So I know sometimes I'll get something from Amazon or wherever, and I have to put it together. It's nice if I have a process that has images with it and gives me those detailed things. So that helps me to have maybe one of those type of infographics. The next one is a geographic infographic. That's a funny word. But anyways, it consists of maybe having a map. And if you look at this one, there's a map in here and it gives you information. So it could be information about population, about people's likes and dislikes, and things like that that's going on in a certain region. If you look at this one, it says baby names, but this was in 2012. Look how popular Emma's name was in 2012. Look at all the orange names.
And Sophia.
And Sophia. Hey, there's a Liam too. So if you those are the boys' names on the left and the girls' names on the right. Pretty cool.
I love that. Yeah, so much easier to read.
We didn't have to read anything and read it paragraphs. We just looked at this infographic.
We see these infographics a lot whenever they're talking about voting and like the polls and how certain candidates are doing in certain areas. And so that's, I feel I see those infographics a lot whenever we are in the process of voting.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. And then here's another infographic is comparison. So if you're comparing things, you could have some images and you can compare things like, for example, we have the generation of, we have the baby boomers, we have the Generation X and the Generation Y, and you can see the things that
each of those generations.
I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not going. Okay.
Each of the you froze for a moment, Miss Johnson.
Okay. Were you talking about my generation?
No, I said the generations have information next to each one of them that show like the things that were popular during that time.
Exactly. And it's kind of easy just to look at the icon. Okay, let's talk about another infographic type. Oh, a timeline. Oh, I love this. I like it because it talks about a period of time, like starting from maybe birth to the end or in between some successes, some things that are happening. So it gives a person a quick overview of what happened in their lifetime or what happened in a production. Like, look at Legos. Did you know that? Lego back in 1958? How many of you out there like Legos? How many of you still have Legos? I'm going to check the chat.
I bet a lot.
I bet a lot.
Legos are still very popular.
Absolutely. Okay. Well,
I like the timeline. We should make a timeline today. Let's do that.
Oh, you want to make a timeline infographic?
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. I think I would like to make one. What should we make a timeline on, though?
Well,
Let's
remember, we
make a
did some
timeline
planning
on something that we all like. And someone that, like, because I see timelines a lot. You mentioned it about biography, like it's about people usually. So I'm thinking we make a timeline on a person and someone that's here in Texas that everybody knows.
Yeah, I bet you they'll probably guess it, but he's a really popular figure here. He does a lot for our community, and he's a pretty good football player too.
Yes. I think we're going to do a timeline on J.J. Watt.
Yes,
let's do it.
J.J. Watt.
Ms. Johnson is sharing her screen, and she's going to get started here in just a moment.
See me, and you can hear me.
There she is. We can't hear you, though, so make sure to...
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, y'all can hear me. Thank you for being patient. Perfect. Okay, so we decided we're going to make a timeline on J.J. Watt. Oh my goodness, y'all, let's do this. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to get started. We're going to actually use Google. So we're going to, if you look at my screen, up at the top, we need to make sure that we are in as ourselves, because that's going to be important as we create this timeline, that we log in as ourselves. So at the very top, you see where my initials are? I'm going to click that, and I'm going to go ahead and add a person. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do us, because it's important that when we do log in, we have to make sure that we have our login credentials. Okay, so I went to the very top, I added a new person. I'm going to add, and then even at the very top, I need to make sure that I am going to turn on sync. So I'm turning on sync, and then it's going to launch me to the login page. And I'm going to type in my credentials. You're going to type in your Cypher credentials. And I hope that y'all are able to do this with us while we're talking. And remember, you can go back and rewind and go over the steps. Then I'm going to link my data, because maybe you're using a computer with your brother or sister. So that's why I said it's really important that you are on your own Google sign-in. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, and that's so nice too, Ms. Johnson, because then everything can be contained within that account. So everything they do in their Google Drive and their Google Classroom and everything is all going to be in one place.
Yeah, that's really important. And it's kind of opening up some things, but now that we're here, we should have the landing page. And I'm going to go all the way to the right where the little grids are, the little gray grid. Some call it a waffle. I'm going to click on that, and I am going to go to Drive. So I clicked on my Drive icon, and it's opening up. See, I've been doing a lot of work here, huh? All right, now if I take my cursor and move all the way to the plus, right underneath the Drive on the far left, so you're kind of moving to the left, to the right, I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I'm going to go move my cursor down. I don't see, we're going to actually use Google Drawings. I don't know if you've ever done it, but this might be really fun today to do that. You probably did slides with us last week, but this time we're going to use Google Drawings. So
those of you that were with us last week, you may see some similar things that we're sharing, because Google Slides and Google Drawing is very similar, but we love Google Drawing because it allows us to keep a transparent background, which means that it will have no background behind it if we need it to look like that. It also has a lot of options to create our infographic like we're going to do today. So that's why we chose to go with drawings instead of slides today.
That's awesome. It's great to learn new things, huh?
So
once we pop it out, I'll do that part again. I know that Ms. Ames was talking, but if I go to the plus and scroll down, then it's going to pop out another menu bar, and then I'm going to go all the way till I see Google Drawings. You see that one, the little red? I'm going to click on that, and it's going to launch me into a blank Google Drawing palette. Looks cool. It kind of has some gray little dots and so forth, but you can see that you're actually in the right environment. So now that we're here, I think we were talking about what we were going to do a timeline on. I want to go ahead and name our timeline. I'm going to go ahead and name it. You see at the top where it says Untitled Drawing? I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to call it JJ. I love that name. What? Timeline. Because sometimes we forget to name things. I know I've even done that on a piece of paper, like forget my name. So I'm going to go make sure I made a title for it already. And then I'm going to click away. And then now I have to talk about how do I do a timeline? Oh my goodness, y'all, there's a great tool in here inside of Google Drawing that you could go up to Insert and go all the way where it says Diagram. Okay, so I went to Insert, I went past Images, and I clicked on Diagrams. Over to the right, it pops out a panel. Oh my goodness, it has most of the infographics we were talking about.
I love that.
Isn't that cool? So if you have time, you could go in here because there's some arrows that says there's more, and there's more templates based on these different timelines and infographics. But I think we're going to concentrate on timeline. So I'm going to click on timeline. I'm going to open it up. Let's click that and expand that. Wow, look at the different options we have. What do y'all think?
I love that they're already built in like that. Makes it so much easier to get started.
Right? It does, because sometimes I can't start from scratch all the time. So maybe we can use a template. So I'm just scrolling down. I kind of like this one. What do y'all think? I'm going to click on this one. So once I click on it, it brings it in. What do y'all think? Okay.
I like the layout of it.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's just I don't like green and gray so much.
Oh, yes. And remember last week we talked about changing out the color. So, all right, we can change all that. I'm going to collapse this timeline thing so I can have more surface space to work with. So at the top, I'm going to click the X and it's going to open it up. Okay, pretty cool, huh? But we are doing a timeline about J.J. Watt, right? And
Correct.
Who did he play for? Maybe I need it because Ms. Haynes talked about colors, and I don't think that green teal color is part of his team.
No way.
All right. Well, let's go up to the insert. So if you know what you're going to be doing a timeline on, I'm going to actually do a search. I'm going to go to insert image, and I'm going to go to search the web, and I'm just going to type in Texans because I think that's who he plays. Whoops. Oops, my E is not working on my computer. I have to hit it really hard. I apologize, guys. I knew it's going to do that.
That's okay.
I even tried to clean it. All right, look at all the different pictures here. Oh, wow. Oh, but I'm looking for color. So I need something that I could probably draw from some colors. Ooh, I'm going to click the Houston Texans and bring it in.
I think that's perfect.
Wow. Okay, so now I see some color.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Like
that is pretty cool, huh, guys?
Yes.
Okay, I really like that. So now I know that I could probably choose from 2 of the different colors. I'm going to click the X out here so I have more of my landscape for working with my digital poster. Think about this as a big old poster that you have at home, and you're going to be adding some things onto your digital poster. Okay, so I'm going to look at the different colors, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to let you know that I can change these colors that Ms. Haynes was talking about, and there's a way that I could do it so it matches perfectly. So what I'm going to do, and you guys could do it too with me, or you could come back to it, but I really like to make sure it matches. And did you know there's an app that we can use that will help us get the same colors of these, so I can change those colors down below?
Yeah. How do you get that?
Okay.
Right?
Well, remember we talked about how to open up our drive, but if you go to the top left, there's a colorful app that has different colors, but it's a grid, has 9 little squares. If I click on that, mine actually says apps. If I click on it, I could go there and I could go to the web store. So when I go to the web store, I'm going to type in color pick and see what happens. Oh, there we go. This is the one we would like to add to Chrome. So if you type in color pick, you don't even have to write the whole name, and this extension will come up and you can add it to your Chrome bar. So let's see what happens when I add it. And look at the top, there might be some magic at the top. So I'm going to say add extension. And
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
It even gave me a dialog box to say it's been added. Awesome.
Okay.
So did you see how easy that was to add that, guys? If not, you could just rewind and do it again. I'm going to go back to where we were, because we're going to go ahead and, oops, sorry. I know I had that open.
Go to,
My drive.
you can go into your drive. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Recent.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. I see it down there.
Okay, did I lose it? I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's down there at the bottom.
Right there in
Ms.
the middle,
Johnson,
kind of.
in the middle. Yep, right there.
In the middle?
Oh, you just skipped right,
yeah.
right there. There you
Thank you.
go.
All right, so now I'm back on my page. So you have to toggle between, and I'm sorry, I should have opened up a new tab and then kind of added the extension. But now that we're back, and I have the color picker at the very top, do you see that?
I see it.
I'm pointing at it. So now I want to kind of change the colors on our template. So I'm going to grab the color picker, I'm going to click on it, and then it has some crosshairs, and I'm going to move over to the blue. See the blue?
Yes.
And if I click on it, it now gives me that color code. So it's highlighted, or I can do a right click, copy, because now it's copying the code, and then I'm going to X out of that little rectangle box. So I need to close the color picker. And then I'm going to go over to the first square of our timeline. And select it. And remember, we talked about I'm going to make sure I get the green. And you can see up there at the top where the paint bucket is. That's the fill color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way down to where it says custom. And then I'm going to click in that rectangle box and exit out, get rid of it. And then I'm going to do a right click paste or a control V. And then that is going to give me the exact color of what the text and colors are. So I'm going to say, okay. Did you see that?
Okay.
I love it.
That was pretty easy, right?
Yes.
Okay, and let's kind of do one more. We'll just do the red real quick. Remember, you're going to go up to the color picker. You're going to bring that down. You see the crosshair, and I'm going to make sure I get the color on there. You can see her in the bigger box, and if I click on it, it gives me the color code. I'm going to make sure I copy it, and then I'm going to X out of it, and then I'm going to actually go to the next box here, make sure I have it selected, go up to the paint bucket, and I am going to go down to custom, and then I am going to back out that color, and then I'm going to control V, and I'm going to say, okay. What do y'all think? Is it starting to come along? I really
that seems really easy to do. I love using the color pick.
I really do too. One more thing before Miss Hames and Miss Kilpatrick gets in here, because I know we have a lot to really show. I just want to tell you about the magnifying glass at the top. So if you go to the menu bar and you see the magnifier, if you click on that, you can see more of your actual infographic. So I'm going to go to 50%. That's kind of small, right?
Yes.
So I could go back and go to 100%. And then at the bottom, I'm going to click after yes. Okay. You can see at the bottom, right? Should I make it bigger? Can y'all see that there's a little right on the corner with some diagonal lines?
Yes.
That's how you can change the shape of your infographic, because right now it's pretty much a square. But if I click and drag, I can pull it out, and now I have more room here. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes,
Because
I like that.
Yeah, because I know I have 4 events that may be happening in the timeline, but maybe I just want to add one more box to kind of add more information about JJ. So what I'll do, and then I'm almost done because I know that Danielle's really, Ms. Haynes is really getting excited about adding some other things to it. So if you click on one of the boxes, for example, this one right here, I just want to add one more thing so I can have one more event about JJ. So I selected that. I'm going to do a right click, copy, because that's what I want. I want to duplicate that thing just like it is. And then I'm going to do a right click. I'm going to do a right click, paste. Hold on. Let's make sure I copied it. And I'm going to do Control V. And it's on top of it. It kind of went on top of it. I actually use my arrow keys. You can use your mouse or your tracking mouse, your touch mouse on your computer, but I like to use the arrow key. So I'm just going to move it over, right? So that it goes right along with this. Did you see how I did that, guys?
Yes, and can you use the up key too, the arrow up key as well?
Yeah, I could go up or down. If I have to move any of these things, I could just simply do that. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Well, I'm going to stop because I want to see the finished product, and I know that y'all are probably going to be working on your own. So I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Haynes.
Okay. Okay, I want to make sure that I am showing the correct thing. Can you see the screen on there?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
So
So
I had a question real quick, Ms. Haynes, about color pick being available for students.
Yes.
In Cypher, we did just make sure that it was correct.
Yes, we tested that and we had it approved to be put in the CFISD extensions. So yes, it should be there.
Perfect.
Okay, so I hear my microphone sounds a little funny sometimes. So Ms. Johnson and Ms. Gilpatrick, if I start sounding funny, I need you to tell me and jump in, okay?
Okay.
Okay, all right, so thank you very much, Ms. Johnson, for setting this up for me. It looks awesome. I'm so excited to fix this up just a little bit. But I was thinking as you were doing that, I know you were using this Houston Texans logo as your color picker, but we're not doing a timeline on the Houston Texans, are we?
No.
No, so sorry, I'm going to delete now because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some word art which will tell us exactly what our timeline is about. So if you were with us last week, you might remember this little trick, but we're going to insert word art. It's one of my very favorite things to do. So we're going to come up here to the top where you see insert. Okay, and when I click on insert, I'm going to scroll down to where I see word art. And when I click on word art, I get this box. If I double click inside of that box, I can type the information that I want. So I'm going to type in there, JJ Watt, and hit enter. And now it comes in and I can just click in the middle and I can get that little 4 arrows to drag it up. And then I can resize it because it's an image. So if I click and I hold down the shift key and go in the corner, I can resize it, but still keep the same constraints, meaning that it's not going to get all wonky and look kind of funny when I move it around. So I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to change it because right now it is in an Arial font. So let me show you where you do that. Up here at the top, it says Arial. Okay, Arial's the default font in this one, but it's kind of boring. So I'm here and I'm going to click the down arrow. When I click the down arrow, I'm going to see some different options of the different fonts that I like to use. Okay, but I want to show you just very quickly that you can also get more fonts. So right up here at the top, it says more fonts. If I click on that, I'm going to take off my magnifier. You can see that I have lots and lots of different fonts here. So if I really like this one up here at the top, I can click it and say, okay, or I can choose a different one. Okay, so I'm just going to add that to my font and put it up there. But then I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to change this to the one that I know that I want to use because I use it all the time. So I'm going to choose this one, Bevan, and it's up here at the top because this is one of the ones I use a lot. Once I do that, you're going to see that it changes, and now it looks like the whole font. And as I drag my JJ Watt name over, you can see that red line right there in that middle. That red line helps me know that that is exactly center of my page. So when I let go, I know that that is exactly in the middle. So now I just have a couple more things to do to make this look like the Texans color. So right now it's in that light blue color. I'm going to come up here to that paint bucket that Ms. Johnson, and I'm going to click on it. And now, because she was so nice and did that custom colors for me, down here at the bottom, it says custom, and I can see that navy blue and that red sitting there waiting for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change the font to red. So now it's there, JJ Watt, but I want it to really stand out. So now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to come up here to the top where you see the border color. Right now it is black. I want it to be that same navy blue color. So I'm going to come down here and choose the navy blue color. And then I'm also going to come to the little spot right next to it that says border weight. And notice when I hover over it, it's there. When I click on border weight, I can choose 3 or 4, whatever I want. And notice that it's getting thicker. So it's really standing out and looking nice. So now that looks like JJ Watt. What do you think, ladies?
Yes.
Yes.
I really like that.
Okay, that looks a lot better, I think. All right, the other thing I want to do is I'm going to change the design of this just a little bit because I think it would look really cool if we could put pictures here in the middle instead of text. So I'm going to kind of highlight this whole thing. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag a box around all of it. And notice that it's all selected. You can see that all of that has little tiny boxes around it. And then I'm going to use my arrow keys like Ms. Johnson told me to do, and I'm going to move that up because I don't have too many things that I need to fit above it. I want to fit everything below it and inside of it. So I'm going to put it right about there. Okay, so now I have plenty of space down here at the bottom to add more information. So now I just get to get started on making our timeline. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click inside of where the date is. Okay, and I'm going to backspace that out because I need to put information in there about JJ Watt. So what I'm going to do before I start is I'm going to make sure I have the right font and the right size. Up here at the top, I have this font. What is it? Roboto font. And I'm going to change it to size 18. I want it to be nice and big so that you can see it. I'm also going to come over here and I'm going to make it bold. Okay, because I really, really want it to stand out. So notice that when you're doing text, you have all of these options up here of ways that you can make it look a little bit better. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to change the color. So right now it's that teal color, and I'm going to go back to one of our colors that we've been using the whole is that navy blue. Okay, so now it is ready for me to type, and you can see that it's blinking here and it's a larger size cursor. So that helps me. So the first date that I'm going to put in there is March 22nd. Let's see. There we go. I had to extend my text box just a little bit. March 22nd, 1989. So that's the first date that we're going to put in. Okay, so now it's there and it's ready. Notice when I'm highlighted, I can click and drag and I can move it around however I want. Those red lines, again, are helping me make sure it stays right in the center. So now to save time, I'm going to delete text boxes out of here because I don't want all of those there because I want to be able to put my own in. I'm a little nervous because it's selecting the whole thing. I don't want to delete the whole square. To try it, and I always have an undo. There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Phew, that was scary for a second.
Yeah, undo is my favorite.
Yes. Then I could take a risk and know that I can always just go back and fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate, and we talked about this last week, but in case you weren't with us, to duplicate something, you just click on Control and D at the same time. And when you do that, it's going to give you another text box that looks exactly like that one. But you know, in a timeline, you don't want to have the same exact twice. So this one, I'm going to mess with that and make it even. But this date I'm going to put in is something that really, really shocked me. And I don't know the exact month and day, but I do know approximate years because I read an article about JJ Watt. and you're not even going to believe what it is when I go to put the text in. But I'm going to also, because I want it to look centered, is I'm going to come back up here to the top where we were before when we were changing all of our font. And I'm going to click this down arrow to align. So notice right here is where we changed the color. If I keep scrolling over, I see this line here. And when I hit the down arrow, I can choose to put it in the center so that it looks nice. Okay, so I think that that is helpful. So if I had all the time in the world with you amazing people, I would put in all the dates right now. Okay, we have been planning. So I have a planning document that helps me with all of my different dates. But I need to continue creating this so that our image person can come in and do that. So I'm going to take away all of the text boxes, okay, or I'm just going to do it on the first couple by just clicking on it and then hitting the delete button. So I'm setting this up for Ms. Gilpatrick to come in and put in some images, okay? But now the trouble is I have nowhere to put what the event is. So I know something happened March 22nd, 1989, but I'm not sure what. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a text box at the bottom, but we're going to do it in a little bit of a different way. We're going to add it as a shape. So I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to click on shape and then shapes again. And then remember, you have to be really careful. Make sure you stay on that arrow. And then I'm just going to choose a plain old rectangle. When I choose that, it's going to give me these little crosshairs and I can just click and drag to create a box. Again, notice that these nice little lines are helping me. They're like, you're on it, you're right where you need to be. So I let go and it creates that box for me, okay? So now I have a blue box, okay? But I want it to really stand out and I want my text to stand out. So we're gonna go back to our favorite thing up here at the top, the fill bucket. So I'm going to click on the fill bucket and I'm just going to make it plain white because I'm pretty sure the Texans color has a little bit of white in it as well. I've seen them in those white jerseys. So yeah. I am also going to add a border on this so it really stands out. So to do that, you're going to go back up here to the top where you have your fill bucket and next to it, it says border color. So when I click on the border color, I can come down to those custom colors Ms. Johnson made for me and I can choose for it to be navy blue. I can also choose for the border to be a little bit thicker if I wanted to. Okay, I want them to be able to see it. You also have the option to make it dashed or different things like that. But for right now, I'm just going to keep it as the regular line. Okay, so now my text box is ready. All I would have to do is I would have to do the same thing. So when I highlight it, I'm going to do Control D, and then I can drag it over and I can make all of my text boxes so that they're ready. Okay, now I could keep these all the exact same colors, or if I want to get fancy, which I'm pretty sure that I would want to do, I can come up here to the top again and go to that fill bucket and or not the fill bucket, sorry, the little line for the border color, and I can make that one red. Okay, so now it's set up and it's ready to go. Okay, the other cool thing, when I click back on my arrow, when I click inside of here, double clicking, it gives me this little blinking cursor, which means it's ready for text. But sad day, something terrible happened again. Up here at the top, our text is back to Arial. Why does it always do that to me? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change this to the one that I had before. Okay, I'm also going to a little bit. It's at 14. I'm just going to type in there 16 and hit enter because I know that that's the size that I want. Now, if I was smart, what I would have done is done that all first before I duplicated my box, because now I might have to do it again on the second one. But because we're doing this in speed time, I'm just going to fill in this first box for right now. And I'm going to say in Wisconsin. Okay. So again, if I wanted to, I could be super fancy and I could come up here and I could align. I hope you guys can still hear me because I just got the internet is unstable thing.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right, so then again here, I'm just going to do this quickly because you guys already know how to do this, and because I didn't duplicate my whole box, I had to do it again. But the second one, this is the one that I think is going to surprise you. This is when J.J. Watt played ice hockey. Can you believe that? One of the greatest football players actually played ice hockey. Isn't that
crazy?
That's a great fact. That's crazy.
Yes, I read that in an article. So I know for sure that it's true because I've seen it in multiple places. But yes, he played both football and ice hockey and decided to stick with football. I think he made the right choice. What do you think?
I think so.
All right. So what I would do here is if I had time, I would go and I would take all of these out. Okay. Take out one more just so that you guys can see. As Miss Gilpatrick is going to be working on her part, I'm going to continue working and filling all of these in. But you don't need to see all that because I think that you guys understand what we're doing here. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add one picture. So I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to go to insert. And when I go to insert, I'm going to scroll over and I'm going to search the web. When I do that, just like it did for Miss Johnson, it's going to bring up a box. So I'm going to type in here, JJ Watt. And I see a picture here that I really like. So I'm going to click that one. He's in his Texans jersey and I'm going to, okay, and it's going to come in. Number one, it's like, whoa, that's way, way, way too big. So I'm going to grab the corner and just click and drag to make it smaller. Okay, I know already because I was a good planner. I fourth box.
I like that you're adding a picture though, because it definitely changes it up and makes it more interesting.
I agree. So I know what I'm going to put here. I'll give you a little hint. What I'm going to put here is this is when he starts playing for the Texans. So that's what we're eventually going to put there. So I could leave that there just like that, but there's something about it I don't like. It has all that green grass around it, right? I like that, but it kind of takes away from JJ. I want to just see him in his 99 jersey. So what I'm going to do is a new little trick, and this is something that is super cool and super fancy. So I'm going to show you fairly quickly how to do this because I'm looking at my time. So I'm going to come back here and I have my tab open that has my Google Drive. So I'm going to just very quickly show you up here at the top. I have my Google Drive still open from when Miss Johnson told me to go there to make a new drawing. Click on recent and I'm going to just click on the plus sign and I'm going to make a new drawing. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to make that picture transparent. I only want to see JJ. So I have this new drawing ready to go. I'm going to come back to where I put that timeline and I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to come over to my other drawing and I am going to, hold on. My connection is slow. It's just spinning. So right now I can't do much of anything.
There it comes.
You're good.
All right, perfect. Okay, so here it comes. So it came in. I'm going to make it a little bit larger again so that you can really see it. And then I'm going to do that little trick that Miss Johnson told me, and I'm going to grab the corners and make it smaller. Okay, so now it's ready. And now I'm just going to do a file download. Okay, so it's there. I don't need to do anything. I'm going to go to File Download, and I'm going to do a PNG. Now, when I do that, down here on my toolbar, I see that it has Untitled Drawing. So I'm going to come back to my JJ Watt timeline, and I'm going to delete this image out. Okay, and now this is the cool thing I wanted to show you. If I open up one more tab, you're going to love it. So exciting. And I'm going to go to a website called remove.bg. And when I go there, it's going to open up this super cool website that says I can remove background images and it's totally free. And I don't even have to log in or do anything. All I'm going to do is go to my downloads bar and I'm going to drag that drawing that I made and I'm just going to drop it. And while it's preparing, you can see, well, that was super fast. Whoa, look. So now the grass, it's gone. So I'm just going to click that download button again, and I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to go back to my tab that says JJ Watt Timeline, and I can just click and drag and drop that in there. Where is it? Hold on. There we go. And I'm just going to resize it a little bit, and I'm going to put it inside of that box because I know exactly what we're going to put there as we start working. How cool is that?
Love
Great.
it.
I love
All
it.
right, awesome. Okay, so Ms. Gilpatrick, I think we're ready for some more. I'll keep working on the other stuff while you're talking.
Okay, sounds great. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so we are going to pick up, that is looking really good, like compared to where it was when we started and where we are now. And we're adding a lot of neat features here. So we said that we were going to app smash today. So that was our first app smash of using remove.bg in Google Draw. And now we're going to use another feature called auto draw. So I don't know about all of you out there, but I like to draw, and you don't have to be a perfect artist to create things like this, because there's a little trick out there that I heard about from some amazing other ed tech people out there, Meredith Akers, Miss Akers, who's at Rennell, as well as another trainer out there that we know that we've learned some things from. So this is called auto draw, okay? And I'm just going to type in auto draw. It's autodraw.com. And you'll see here, this was my last thing, so it brought it up. So you'll see what that is here in a second. I'm going to come up here and do start over. So I want a blank page. Now, this is what's so amazing about auto draw, is that right here, I have an auto draw pencil, and I'm going to choose a color that I want to start drawing in. So like Ms. Hames said, JJ Watt played hockey. We're going to put on that section. So I'm going to start doing my best, and I'm just using my mouse here. If yours is touchscreen, you can use that. This is looking a little bit like a leg, but watch what happens whenever I complete it. Right up here at the top, it says, oh, we think you're drawing a hockey player. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to draw. So I'm going to choose that hockey player. And now look, it replaced my really not so good hockey stick with a really great hockey player. So now I can color him in. So I'm going to choose my fill bucket, just like we do in the Google apps, and start picking what color I want to use. So I'm going to make him have blue pants, and we'll do a green shirt, and we'll do a yellow face mask. And I can just come here and pick all those colors that I want to use. We'll do his skates will be, and his
Hockey players had black pants, Miss Gilpatrick.
Oh.
do they? Well, this one does. Okay. I can also change the outline color. I don't know if you noticed that, but I accidentally did it and then I just fixed it. So now that I have him all colored in the way that I want, then I'm just going to come right back up here to my menu options and select download. So just like Ms. Hames was showing a minute ago, you can see that it's showing up here in my download bar. And I love that feature because it makes it so much easier to then find it and put it into whatever it is that you're working on. So when I come back over to our JJ Watt timeline, my auto draw drawing is right down here. So all I have to do, if I want to, is click and drag it. However, you're going to see something when I do that. Check it out. I've got this big white background.
No.
I don't want that. So I'm going to use that trick that you just showed us, remove. And instead of dragging it onto my Google drawing first, I'm going to drag that auto draw onto here. And now it is going to remove that white background and make it transparent, a transparent background. So I'm going to download this. Now this is the auto drawing that I want to bring.
Yay,
So
that looks great.
So he's a little bit big. I'm going to make him a little bit smaller here and bring him in. Oh, okay. And then we can bring my little hockey player, JJ Watt child hockey player right there. There we go. So, and then the last thing that we're going to show you all is how to make this interactive. And what you can do is you can add links to each of the different pictures that you put within your infographic, so that whenever somebody is viewing it, they can actually click on things and learn more, or you can click to go to a source. Like Ms. Hames had mentioned that she found that information about him playing hockey whenever he was, or by reading an article. So we could link that article to that section, and then people can learn about it as well. So we're going to make this interactive by adding links. I did mention to somebody that I was going to show them how to change the background color. So I'm just going to do that real fast. Right click here, go to background, and then you can pick a color for your background. Okay, so I'm going to make it white. All right. So here's how we add a link. So I'm going to select his name, and I'm going to add a link here for his foundation, for JJ Watt's foundation. So I'm going to go to JJ Watt Foundation, just as we know he does a lot of things around our community. So I'm going to open up this so that I can get this actual link. So I'm going to click up here for the link, right click, and copy. And then I'm going to go back to my Google Drawing. I have my JJ Watt highlighted because this is where I want to link it. So I'm going to click on Insert Link. And then you'll see this box that opened right here, paste a link or search. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste that link and then click Apply. So now whenever someone comes over this the words JJ Watt, they're going to be able to click and go to the JJ Watt Foundation website.
Awesome. I love that.
Do that with other ones too. So the last few things that we're going to show you all is how to share your final product. So anytime you're doing anything like this, you're going to want to plan out what you're doing. And so we've planned this out, and just like on a cooking show, we have a final product to show you. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go to that right now. This is our final. So we worked hard on this. We added all of our images. And in fact, we've linked a lot of things in here too. So we have from when he was born to when he got married. And then as we know, his life continues. So the first thing that you're going to want to do whenever you share this with us, I'm going to come over here for a moment. Like the computer's moving kind of, but okay. So in order to share this with either us or with your family or with your friends or whoever, then we are going to show you those steps of how you can share it with us, but then also how you can get that link to share it with others. So what you're going to do, this part's important. The first thing you have to do is you have to make sure that it's not just private to you. So you're going to click on this blue share button. You're going to choose Get Shareable Link. Okay, so right now this is set for anyone at Cypress-Fairbanks can view it. And that means that anybody within our district can view it. If you want to change that so that a family member or someone else can view it, then you would want to go up here and select on anyone with the link and view. We're going to click Save. So now I have my share settings set correctly. And you can tell that right up here, it's showing me anyone with the link. And then I want this to be set so that it's almost like they're looking at an online poster, a website, without all of the other Google drawing information, because I don't want people to be coming in to try to change it. So here is the trick. Pay close attention to this. So you're going to come up here to where your link is. This is the link that you would share with people. Okay. So I'm going to come up here to this link, and I'm going to go all the way to the end of it, where it says the word edit. I'm going to zoom in here just so you all can see well. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come up here to the link where it says edit, and I write the word edit, just the word edit, and then type the word preview. Okay.
Oh, that's fancy, Miss Gilpatrick.
I know it's kind of a big step, but so stop and rewind if you need to. I'm going to type the word preview, and then I'm going to select this whole link right here, right click, and select copy. Okay, now watch what happens when I use that link. So now that link is on my clipboard. I'm going to come up here to a new tab and right click, paste, and here it is. So notice, oh, I'm sorry, I used the wrong.
That's okay.
I used our final copy. I'm just gonna, let me do that real quick. Preview. Okay. Select that whole thing. And
The reason I think she wants to show our final is because she went hyperlink crazy, and I think she hyperlinked all kinds of great things for you to see.
Yes, thank you. That is why I wanted to show. So, so now that we are looking at the preview version, this is the link that you would give to other people to see your work and see your infographics. So whenever you click on these, it's going to bring us to all of those links that we hyperlinked. Okay, so I can click on when he started playing football as a Badger at the University of Wisconsin. I can click on that. It's going to bring me to his website. Okay. So we clicked a lot of different things here. Whenever he got married. So this is going to bring me to some information about Kelia. Okay. And so each of these are linked, and you can tell that they're linked whenever you hover over them, and it turns into a little finger.
Oh, that's great. You could
That's
learn.
awesome. And I'm thinking of so many ways that students can use these when they're doing projects or like they're creating. They could do some research and then link things so that they can prove that, you know, I found this information from a certain place.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
I did link
Me
that
too.
article that you mentioned as well.
Oh, great.
So there we go.
He could have been an awesome hockey player.
Ay, ay, ay.
So our final here, now that I have this saved, again, just going up here, right click, copy. Then in order to share that with us, to show it off so that we can share your awesome infographic with others on our website or on our Twitter page, you're going to go to CFISD.net, and then you'll go to the Learning at Home section. You'll scroll down here, the Learning Lab. You can click on continue. You'll put in all your name information, whether or not you are a Cypher student. Yes, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to choose my school. And then today is April 16th. So you're going to pick April 16th, and then you are going to right click and paste that link and then click submit. So it's as simple as that, to show off your work, and we are excited to see your infographics.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yes, me
We hope that you
too.
learned a few new things today, and we appreciate you all being here, and we hope to see you next week. We'll be talking about communication tools.
And just one last thing, you may
Yes.
have noticed at the bottom of our slides, Ms. Gilpatrick, maybe you can show them at the bottom of our slides, we do have a little bit.ly there at the bottom, because we did link one extra thing. So if you see, it says bit.ly/ELE-week 3. Okay, that is there for you. If you can type that into your browser, you'll get our little presentation, but we really want to show you slide number 9, because this is hyperlinked out to a place that'll give you some more templates. So Ms. Johnson showed you some that you can use within Google Drawings, but this is also somebody named Jeff Erb that is Instructional Tech Talk, and that will take us to some more templates that you can use to show off your skills. Okay, so is that not linked, Ms. Gilpatrick? There it is.
It is. It just, yeah, it went to, yeah, sorry. Here we
Nervous. There you go. So as you can see, there are some templates here of ones that are already kind of created that you can just edit. So there's the 8 steps, that one that Ms. Johnson showed you, and then how to build it. You can preview it. So if you wouldn't mind clicking on preview just to show one of them.
Sure.
And then you can see that that's already there for you. So that's what it looks like. It's already set up. You could just come in and change it. So all you would need to do is click on that copy link right next to it. So if you're like, yes, that looks cool, you can click on copy and it'll make a copy and put it right into your Google Drive for you. Okay, so that'll make it a lot easier for you if you are like, I don't know where to start. You can make a copy of some of those or also use some of the templates that Ms. Johnson showed you already in Google Drawings. So hopefully that helps you with getting some projects started and submitted to us because we absolutely love to see them.
Yes, that was a lot of stuff, but
that was a ton of stuff.
Yeah, but it's great.
Yes.
But we're getting them out on time.
We are.
Oh my goodness.
We did it.
We did it.